Yeah,
So,
contact.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
contact rates everything. Follow
yeah,
through. I mean, that's kind of the newer thing.
yep,
For a long time it was speed to contact. Now that consumers are kind of just getting used to interacting with companies this way, now that follow up and that ongoing nurturing process is probably equally important.
yep,
Now it's just to keep consistency with that consumer.
yeah.
I
Jason.
agree.
Oh,
Yeah, I think that's a huge misconception that before it really was speed to contact. And so now people think, and I think when they first get into the lead game, they think that speed to contact is it. And they call them, they don't get them on the phone, and it's like, that lead sucks. Or,
Yeah.
you call them and like they're not too interested because maybe they were contacted by somebody else, and they kind of give up, where it's like
Yep.
it's really the persistency that trumps speed at this point.
all day, every day.
The other thing that I'm finding too that might be helpful is, in sales, we always talk about kind of asking that calibrating question to figure out like where that consumer is mindset wise. Are they just trying to figure this out? Are they starting? Do they have like an urgency right now with insurance? Do they have an issue? But is the calibrating channels on top of that? So before we were like speed to contact, get them on the phone. And now we're actually telling people, hey, figure out what channel they're most comfortable in. So give them a phone call, send them that email, and then drop that text message and figure out consumers now, like we've done whole deals through text message because that's
Yep.
what they're used to, or that's what they prefer. Maybe it's an age thing. I don't know. But, figuring out what channel they prefer and going ahead and hitting with all, because like you said, Jason, if you just call them and nobody answers the phone and then you just think they're dead, they're just waiting for the right insurance, person to text them because that's the way they want to do business. So hitting them
Sure.
on all three, figure out what channel they like.
Or the right number of dials
Love
too,
that.
and the right
Yeah.
number of dials, because eventually they pick up. And like, what are you seeing as a good first day contact rate on leads?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of all over the place depending on, the playbook that the guys, are running. One of the cadences that we like to sort of advocate is immediately do that responsive call. Sometimes, again, depending on clients or compliance and legal and all this stuff, sometimes it's a voicemail drop. We're going to immediately do that call. We're going to immediately, if we're going to drop a voicemail, we're going to say, hey, I'm going to follow up with an email with all that contact information. That email is going to drop automatically. Text message is going to drop automatically. So we're testing all three channels. That's happened instantly as soon as they fill out the form, trying to get feedback as to what they want. Believe it or not, the text message in the first day hits about a 40% contact rate. We'll get some sort of response. The aggregate is probably more like 20%. But then we're following up later in the day with one more last phone call at the end of the day, maybe a second text message. But by the end of that day, if we're dealing with real-time leads, we're probably hitting about 20% where we get some sort of response during the first day.
Mm-hmm.